Hi, it's great to see you. I'm going to tell you my airplane story today, and it's going to circle back around to why Pilates and movement and exercise is so important to me. But bear with me because I think you're going to see something familiar in the story that'll relate back to your life as well. So recently I was traveling, and I don't do it a lot. It started to ramp up a little bit more for work. So I was traveling, and it's always really important to me, if I can, to get everything in a carry-on. You might relate to that as well. I don't like to sit around at security. When I land, I like to grab my luggage and go, especially if I'm on my own and I can make that happen. So of course I stuffed everything I could into my carry-on. And so the plane had landed, and I knew exactly where it was, and I was waiting my turn. And so I was timing it exactly right, as we do, right? I don't want anyone to have to wait for me. So I was timing it right that I could jump into the aisle and get my carry-on from the overhead bin where I had stowed it before we had taken off. So when it was my turn, I stood up, I had my purse, which honestly is just another very large bag. So I had that. And then I peeked into the carry-on and my bag wasn't there. I peeked into the overhead bin and my bag wasn't there. Now I knew I had put it there, but of course, what do they say? That the luggage could shift upon landing and takeoff. So my luggage had shifted. I knew it was there and it had slid back. So at this point, a split second, it ran through my head. How do I get this bag? Of course, I could ask for help, but there really isn't anyone around me who's offering to help, and I don't want to hold up this line, and I really just want to go. So in 0.5 seconds, I just made the decision to climb up and grab my bag. So again, I had my big purse. I put one foot on the seat in front of me. I climbed up, grabbed my bag out of the overhead bin, got down, I carried it overhead all the way down the aisle and off the plane, put it down, and continued on my way. I didn't think a lot of it until later when I was taking my ride home. And it hit me, what would I have done if that wasn't physically possible for me? And there are times that it's not going to be for various reasons. You could have lifting restrictions. You could have recent surgery. Of course, it's going to happen that you'll have to ask for help. And that's probably a whole other vlog that I could do, talking about how we need to learn to ask for help. But realistically, I knew that there are going to be situations that maybe I couldn't do that, but mostly I was so grateful that I could do that I could just climb up, be independent, grab my bag, and walk myself down that aisle and out without losing another second or holding anyone up. And that is the reason that I exercise. You guys, it hit me, and I have been grateful for it. This was probably 6 weeks ago, and I have been so grateful for it since, and I've really been kind of ruminating on it that I am almost 42 years old. So I'll give you some information here. I'm almost 42 years old. I've had 2 kids. I've had numerous abdominal surgeries. You guys, my belly is probably not going to get completely flat like it was when I was 22. That is something I have come to realize and come to accept. Of course, I work out to keep myself in shape. Of course, I move to help be able to fit into those jeans and be able to go to Hawaii and wear the bikinis that I want. That is, I think, part of human nature, and I don't want to apologize for it, and I don't want to demean that because it is part, again, of human nature, and that's okay. It's okay to want to look a certain way. But realistically, that is not why I move and exercise every day. Because if it was, I would simply be disappointed. I would be on this cycle of wanting to maybe find a magic number on the scale, which I don't believe there is one anyway, or have this idea of what I should look like, comparing myself to how I looked 20 years ago. And that's just not going to happen. I have a different body. I have different life experiences than I did back then. And that's not to say that I can't look better. I believe absolutely I can look better than I did 20 years ago. But it's not ever going to be the exact same because, again, we're on a journey. So if I put myself in that space, I'm simply going to be disappointed. So it hit me, why do I exercise? Why do I move every day? Why do I move my body? Why do I pick up weights? Why do I do Pilates? Why do I stretch? It is because of that situation on the airplane. It's so that I can feel strong and confident in my ability, not necessarily in how I look, but in my ability. I want to be able to know I can do those things. I want to know that I can get down on the floor and do what has to be done with my kids, whether it's playing with them, putting their shoes on. I want to be able to, if we go back to traveling, I want to be able to go through that security line fast. I want to get my shoes on and off fast. I want to be able to stand on one leg and balance while I put my other shoe on. I think of that in the shower. Actually, I shave my legs every day. I want to be able to stand and balance on one leg while I shave my other leg. So there are things like that that come up that I think we kind of lose track of in this really fast-paced lifestyle that we live in, social media, and feeling like we need to fit into a certain size. And again, that's fine, but that isn't really going to sustain us long-term for our motivation. What is feeling strong and confident and able. And along with that is maybe thinking even more long-term into what movement and exercise does for our mentality and our mental fitness. So as many of you know, we are the caretakers, primary caretakers for my mother-in-law who has Alzheimer's. It is a job that I feel extremely honored to have been chosen for, and for it to be in our lives. It's amazing. But with that comes a lot of questions as well from my 6-year-old daughter. So we visit grandma all the time and see her regularly. And my daughter recently said something about having kids later in life. We were just having a fun discussion. And I said, well, of course I'll be there for you. I'm going to be there for you and I'll hold your hand and do what needs to be done. And she said, but mommy, you're going to be like grandma and you won't be able to help me. And that really hit me as well, you guys. If you have been in a place like that, whether it's kids or caretaker, whatever situation you're in, that is another reason why I move every day, because I know it helps prevent disease further down the line. Of course, there's no guarantees, but I'm going to do everything I can now to be present for my kids and to be present for myself, to be able, again, to be independent, strong, and confident in this body that I have. So that is my airplane story. That is the full circle moment that comes back to why I move every day and why I feel so strongly about helping you to move and fall in love with your body, because it's yours, because you should be able to stand on both feet, stand tall, feel proud of who you are and what you're able to do. And know if there's something that you can't do for any reason, you can ask for help. But it's not because of any weakness you have, right? It's just because we need help in any given situation. So I want you to feel that strength. So next time you might not be feeling that motivated to work out or to exercise or to do one of my YouTube videos, think about your own airplane story. Think about what you are either very grateful for that you're able to do or something that you would like to be able to do. I have so many clients when we discuss their goals, their number one goal is to be able to get on and off the floor without help, without having to use a chair to pull up, without having to ask for help. That's one of my favorite things in the world when my client is able to do that finally. And we use squats and lunges and Pilates and hip work and core work. We use all of that to help us get there, which is so extremely rewarding and fun. So think of your own airplane story. I would love to hear it below. Leave it in the comments if you have a story like that, either a time that maybe you've realized your workouts or Pilates has helped you, or a goal that you might have that we can help you address. I would love to hear it, and I will talk to you soon.